Hey everyone, what's going on? Cool here, coming back to the video, and today this is review number 2, I believe, of the Fuji X100T, and here it is right here, nice and all its used beauty of a camera. So this is a long time coming. It's been a few weeks. I told you guys I was going to do another review on this. I believe this is number 2. If it is number 2, it should be number 2, not number 1. But either way, this is kind of the wrap up as far as my thoughts, stuff like that, on the Fuji X100T. If you don't know my background, for about a year I had the Fuji XM1, then I upgraded to the Fuji X100T. Then for some reason decided to go to the Canon DSLR, back to the Rebel T7i. For me, I want to do more videos. It had a little bit of a higher megapixel count. I thought I would be happy with it. I was not happy at all. Call it buyer's remorse, call it what you will. I just wasn't happy with it. It's not to say that you can't get good colors with Canon. Just something about the Fuji. If you heard my previous videos, there's something about the Fuji and their color science. I just like it, and color science and color in general can be very subjective in that regard. I just like the Fuji image and colors. I can't really describe it and the reasons why. Now, with that being said, when I traded in the Canon T7i, I didn't want to spend any money at all. I really wanted to find something that I could go ahead and trade it in. No money at all, nothing like that. I don't want to pay anymore. So as I researched and pricing, I knew I wasn't going to get my XT1 back with the body and then with the kit lens. So, and I thought about it a little more. I'm like, all right, I want a kit lens, but I don't want to be hassled by it too. So then I saw the Fuji X100 lineup of cameras, the Fuji X100F, the newest one. Couldn't afford that. It was way out of my range, And so I saw the Fuji X100S, 100T. So I was going back and forth between the X100S and X100T. And for me, was the Wi-Fi, built-in Wi-Fi of the Fuji X100T. That's what sold me, because I was used to that on the Fuji X-T1. And so another thing is like, all right, I don't want to mess with the kit lens. It's too bulky. I want to be kind of discreet, kind of take this out anywhere. And so that requires limitations within the 23mm fixed lens on this camera. And I researched, and one thing is it's f2, which is really nice. It gets wide open. It's a leaf shutter, and that was a little bit different for me, but I kind of gotten used to it a little bit now, a little bit faster. This camera's grown on me. This camera, sure, it has some limitations. No camera is perfect at all. No camera's perfect. Really, it's what kind of image you create behind it. Remember, this is just a tool. This is my paintbrush, as I have always kind of stated in the photography terms of things. Really, it's a 16.3 megapixel camera sensor. It's still real sharp. I mean, it takes images just like my XT1 did. I have, the fixed 23 has really grown on me. I have learned to work within the frame itself. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It makes you slow down, and it kind of makes you really work within the space. And I actually like it, because there's certain times where on my Fuji, or even the Canon, I had an 1855. Both are 1855 kit lens. And sometimes I like the nice wide on the 18. Sometimes I like the, zoom in close on the 55. But those are 1 out of 5 shots, not that many, to where majority of the shots I take, I'm pretty sure everyone would say the same thing, it's kind of more of a medium-ish, wide, medium-ish shots, or mediums close-up, depending on what you're shooting. So for me, this is kind of perfect, this fixed 23mm, which in the focal plane for 35mm stills, this is a actual 35mm lens equivalent. Even though this is a 23mm lens, it's actually 35. So for me, this is a nice balance. I have a nice UV filter on here as well. The focus ring gets a little getting used to for the most part. It does get a little stuck here and there when you start to get at your 1.5 or less focus wise on here. I don't miss the ISO button on here. I tend to use it automatic ISO. Sometimes I'll go in and I'll change it. Very rarely. Really, for me, it's the exposure compensation dial and also the shutter speed. Those are kind of the two things for me. Also, obviously the film simulation, that's quick as a button. The one thing I have been getting used to was the ND on this. This one you turn it on and off to where the SLR style, it's built in. So that I'm still kind of working, getting used to. The viewfinder, I actually like it. There are times where I would go ahead and I would switch between optical and electrical. Actually, I like it. It allows me to see the real world, but then go over to electronic shutter and I see what I'm gonna get my shot. This camera, just like my Fuji X-T1, just it doesn't disappoint. The images out of the Fuji cameras in general, for me, it blows my mind. Every single frame I snap, it's a work of art in itself. And I think when people say Fuji and the color science, they use real world colors. And I think I have to say that is true. They do use real world colors. Like I said, Canon, good color science, great skin tones, but same thing as Fuji. The one thing about Fuji, and they're using the real world colors, is sure the blacks are a little bit darker than I want them to be, but your environment around you, and I'll show you a couple of photos too, and you'll see that. And the photos I've taken, a lot of this were in camera, so you'll see, especially in the convention center trade show environment, if you know how that lighting is, it's not the best lighting, but it captures that moment. It captures the lighting, it captures the subject, the skin tones, everything in the real world scenario, which I really, really, really like. Again, this camera, sure, like any camera has its limitations, but I'm really liking this. Again, it's not too big. Sure, the grip on here could be a little bit better. I know they have like an L bracket type for extra grip right here. But for me, even my friends at work, they like this camera. I think one of them may buy one. This is just, it's a joy to shoot with. I don't have to worry about bringing the other lenses. I can work within this 23 millimeter lens focal range. I'm very happy with it. I really am. This camera gets me excited about taking photos. And for the longest time, I was shooting quite a bit, so you can kind of say I went from a pro to kind of an amateur back to a pro, but I think really the basic of photography for any level that you're shooting at is to enjoy the process and enjoy creating images. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, how come you always bring a camera with you? I'm like, because I like to capture the moment in time. And I tell her, like, whenever I pull up a photo, my memory shoots back to when that photo was taken and brings back memories to me. If you know anything about history, you know still images, they're very powerful, and it really shows you the time and era that photo was taken. In a time in modern age, we can't sometimes fathom how was it like back in them days, going back to World War II, going back to World War One. It's interesting. It really is. So that's kind of my wrap up, and that's kind of my final thoughts on the Fuji X100T. If I can get the F, that'll be great. But I'm okay with the T. I'm happy with the T. If someone gives me the F, hey, I'm not complaining. You're giving it to me for free. Hey, but for me, this is just a tool. No matter what the name brand is, it's a tool. It's your paintbrush. Really, again, the end goal of photography is to enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, then I don't know. Sometimes it could be, for me, it was a color science in this. It was the way they process images. That for me, it's fun. I enjoy it. Canon, again, it's not so much. Not to say that it didn't produce good images. It does. But for me, it's just a preference for me. That's really sometimes what it comes down to, guys. So that is it for my review of the Fuji X100T. Thank you all so very much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please consider. Also, hit the notification button up top, if I can talk here, and you'll be notified when I do come out with another video. If I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving in the United States, please have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with the family, and we'll see you on the next video.